We've been traveling far without a home, but not without a star. Free, only want to be free. We huddle close, hang on to a dream. On the boats and on the planes, they come into America, never looking back again. They come into America, home. Don't it seem so far away? But we're traveling light today, in the eye of the storm, in the eye of the storm. Home to a new and a shining place. Make our bed and we'll say our grace. Freedom's light burning warm. Freedom's light burning warm. Everywhere around the world, they come into America. Every time that flag's unfurled, they come into America. Got a dream to take them there. They come into America. Got a dream they got to share. They come into America. They come into America. They come into America. They come into America. They come into America today. 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 My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing, of thee I sing today. 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 Today.
Wait, was I muted at the start there? Let's hope not. Whatever, I'll start over again. Welcome back to the Orion Arm, folks. I am Mark, the man behind the curtain here at the Templin Institute, and today we are continuing to develop the star map for our original science fiction setting, Dawn of Victory. And boy howdy, do we got a big stream for you today, but to be honest, I got distracted by Neil Diamond at the start there, so I've completely lost track of my plan, but what could be more American than that? Okay, so what's on the docket for today? Well, first of all, if you are completely unfamiliar with what this is all about, we are developing an original science fiction setting called Dawn of Victory as part of our Way of World Building series. It kind of serves as a case study to show how theory and ideas can be put into practice when you're world building. As part of that, we're developing this fancy star map here, which will serve as kind of the, I don't know, I guess the map of our setting. Don't need to overthink it. But I don't want to sit here in silence. Do we have any music going? What happened to that? Let's get something going here. 1 second. All right, good enough. Except I can't actually hear anything. We are switching the way we're doing these. It used to be we were streaming through the service that let me highlight chat on screen here. Unfortunately, that caused the quality to degrade pretty substantially on the map itself. So you should be able to read these star system names a bit better than usual, but at the expense of being able to highlight chat. So them's the breaks. Okay, so I've already gotten distracted. Man, Neil Diamond, what can you do? And also, did the music just break again? Why does everything break as soon as I start? Good lord. Okay, well, I don't care anymore. Let's just get into this. So, working on the star map, if you want to contribute names for star systems, planets, etc., you will find a document, hopefully just popped up in chat. Now, this document has already been filled with a ton of suggestions. We've been putting it out there that we're working on the United States today, so ton of suggestions there already. Once the map is updated, you can find it hopefully right around here. And that's all the boring stuff. Now let's get into what we're actually doing today. So, first off, this is a nice song. Kind of peaceful. All right, first off, we got a major art update. Our man, Tim Barton, has done a lot of updates. So we're going to kind of show off some of the changes that show up in this part of the map. After that, well, we got to vote on which is the next major region of the Orion Arm we'll be revealing. You might recall, when we first started, we revealed the Sea of Clouds down here. Now we got to reveal another major section. After that, we'll actually get into the Sea of Clouds proper, start adding some American star systems, and that'll be the focus for the main part of the stream. So I think that's all the important stuff. Let's switch to my little work screen here. And I forgot to update the title. Man, what a day. The point is, I'll be mostly working on the map, but if you want to send in super chats like CCOD just did, I will get to them as soon as possible, but I'll be taking some breaks intermittently. Whoops, during the thing here. Working and streaming at the same time is always difficult for me, so I appreciate your understanding and, you know, all the mistakes I'm about to make. All right, so let's go over the changes first. Tim, he must have been hit by some sort of inspiration beam because he put a ton of work into the map. Most of it is in parts of the map you can't actually see right now, so that's a bit of a letdown, but I can show you what's been going on. So, high-level overview. Also, why does Illustrator keep wanting to bring me back over there whenever I zoom in and out? It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, the point is, here's the map at present, and here's the map as it looked last stream. So, you will see some substantial differences. But let's zoom in. First of all, I think Tim was sending me a bit of a message here, because, what do you call it? I really enjoy putting our planets, whoops, what am I doing? On the edge of these kind of nebula structures that Tim has been painting. And I think I've been doing it too much. Italy especially might need a bit of a rework because all the planets show up on the side of these nebula things. So Tim did this thing where he retroactively like made me put star systems in the middle of like the open, which I thought was pretty funny. So like we had two systems there, and now they're in open space again. So I feel like if we were to do this, you know, Tim would probably quit. So I thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, the new detail in like these smaller areas is pretty extraordinary. I am such a huge fan of how this has been turning out. And unfortunately, I can only hint at stuff right around here. But some big changes. Tim has been working on the Tannhauser Gate, which is right around here. In fact, there it is. And who knows, maybe that's what we'll be revealing next on this stream. All right, what else? I guess Italy got some major changes too. I think I showed that off slightly previously. There's all these really cool details that, oh man, I don't know why it keeps going over there. But Tim keeps adding these really interesting smaller details. I guess that's like a green star of some kind. I have no idea. Other changes, what's going on? A bunch of stuff in the Sea of Clouds. In fact, I can try to get in. Oops. I'll hint at some stuff over here. but the area below the Calypso Deeps just got a huge update. So I mean, this feels kind of lame, just like teasing stuff without actually showing anything. So let's move on to what's actually changed. The Sea of Clouds got a major update. More detail around Shai Hulud. I guess Tim knew we were working on it this stream. And there's been this like weird black hole exploding star thing here since almost the beginning. And every time the map gets updated, it gets more and more intense, which I love. So hey, what can you do? Plus, you know, some smaller details, cool stuff around here. And the UK sector got a major update. It's kind of, we actually had a call, we were going over kind of the inspiration, and we were describing this as kind of like a big tree root, like a tree branch kind of thing. So you can see how it's kind of flowing out into the surrounding space. So, yeah, as we move along on the star map, the art will change. Nothing will stay as it is now. That's just the breaks. Okay, so now I guess we can start the fun part, and we'll vote on which part of the Orion arm we're going to reveal next. I would still love to know why, whenever I zoom in and out, it automatically jumps to this one part of the document, though. That makes no sense to me. Why is it deciding to go there? All right, well, I'm not going to figure that out. In any case, though, all right, so I got distracted immediately. In terms of what we're revealing, we got 3 options. Last time we did the Sea of Clouds. Our option this time is number 1. We can reveal the... We don't actually have a name for it yet. It's kind of called the Antares Gap, more or less, but it represents the Baltic states, Poland, Ukraine, that whole area, and the first section of the Soviet Union. So that's the first thing we could possibly reveal. The Soviet Union / Ukraine, Poland, Baltics, that area. I'll call the Antares Gap for now. Who knows? Second option. We could reveal the German area of space. I think it's called the... I can't pronounce it. It's called the German Forest, but in German. I don't know. Dushy, something like that. And option number 3 would be revealing probably the biggest of the 3, actually. I guess the Soviet one is about that size. The German one is about the same size. But then we got a bigger sucker down here. And this is what we're calling the Orinoco, which is this big region connecting the New Canaan corridor to this hyper-volatile war zone area right around here, as well as leading all the way to the heart of the Japanese Empire. So, I think there's a way to set up polls in YouTube. I've tried it before, and it seemed to work. So I'm going to set that up right now. If you'll just indulge me while I'm typing here. What are we revealing? Option 1, Soviet, let's call it Eastern Europe area. Number 2, German, I wish I had better names for these, the German Forest. And number 3, we'll call it the, I'll just call it Japanese. Japan. All right, a little rough, but it'll work, I think. So that poll hopefully just went live. You can vote whoever you please. And yeah, I don't know, we'll give it a minute. How long is it gonna take for people to put their vote in? It's currently 4:10. We'll give it to 4:11 Mountain Standard Time. Damn, so far, Soviet / Eastern Europe area in the lead with 39%. The German Forest coming in last with 26%. And the general Japanese area coming in at 36%. But, oh man, it's close as hell. Soviets are at 38%, Japan at 36%. There is a 2% difference. I mean, I don't want to call this too close, but Soviet Eastern European area is still holding at 39%. I kind of figured the Soviets would win. But I'm pleased to, oh man, Japan's still only 2% away though. This is still anyone's game. The question is, will the German votes split at the very end here? I wish I had a stopwatch. What can I do here? All right, I'm gonna give it 30 more seconds. So please get your votes in if you want to help determine the which part of the map we're revealing next. Looks like Soviets are probably gonna take it 38% to Japan's 35% with the German Forest in at 27%. And So yeah, the votes are still coming in. I don't want to end it. What have you been doing for the last minute where you haven't voted yet? All right, 10, 9, 8. Except this countdown's not going to work either because we're out of sync because there's probably a delay, right? Fuck it. I'm ending it right now. All right, the Soviets took it, or the Soviets slash Eastern Central Europe, Baltics area. So let's reveal that, shall we? God, I hope I labeled these right. Hey, there it is. Okay, so directly above the Liran Vale, we have a... Oh, damn it. We have a prominent section of the arm that needs a name. But this right here is about where we're hoping to put the Ukrainian, Polish, Baltic sector. And the idea is that there's some sort of weird thing going on in the sector of space, and it's surrounded by these like kind of gas nebula circle things. I'm not sure, but the idea is getting into this section of the arm is actually really difficult because all the cosmic strings have to go through this outer perimeter. So it's like the best defended place in the Orion arm in terms of how warp travel works there. So Poland, Ukraine, those kind of successor states are in a very good spot, but not that far away from the heart of the Soviet Union, right around here. Now the go-to move would have been to put the Soviet Union in like a giant red nebula. That's kind of what we did back in the DOV Classic days. I kind of want to shake it up, have the nebula colors not link so closely to flag designs. However, things do start getting a little redder as you progress deeper and deeper into the Soviet Union, so there's a bit of a mix there. But, oops, that's the new section of the map, and as soon as our website is updated, you'll see it reflected there, and I'll put the link in chat again for anyone who doesn't have it. So yeah, still a lot of work to do on this section. I think as we progress through the Sea of Clouds, Tim is undoubtedly going to be adding more details to this area, and then potentially more to this area. But enough talking. I think, well, I mean, I still got to talk. There's not much else I can do. Enough not putting down star systems. Let's get into it. So, and thank you for the super chats. We'll be getting to them at my first break here. Although, I don't know if this is tracking them the way that other system did. I think I can figure this out. We'll be all right. All right, so we're heading into the Sea of Clouds, and rather than just start to immediately put down star systems, I think I kind of want to plan this out. Unlike the local cluster, I have done no work ahead of time trying to see what looks good, so we're going to be a lot of experimentation on the stream today. Okay, so my basic, can I draw on this? Yeah, there we go. The basic plan at present is that the United States main cluster is going to be right around there. And let me put this on a different layer because I can see this going bad. So USA is around there. I think it needs to like stretch out a fair ways though, like, because the United States ain't screwing around. So I feel like they're... Wait, where'd it go? God, I hate Illustrator so much. Something about this. I mean, that looks gross as hell, but that's roughly where the American colonies are going to be. We got the Pacific States of America loosely around here. Man, I cannot. I needed like a stylus. I think that would help a lot. The UK, probably going to be following this general structure right around here. And our friends in France, right around there. That leaves Australasia. Wait. Is there a C in Anzac, or is it just K? Does that look right? That's probably right. So that's the rough idea. Now, in terms of major members of the Orion Treaty Organization, there is one left that I want to put in the Sea of Clouds, and that would be the East African Federation. I don't want Oto to just be like, you know, the World War I allies or the World War II allies. Let's swap it up a bit. So there's going to be a big African great power in Oto. The question is, where do they go? Possibly like in here. East African Federation. But ideally, I think we're going to be following a lot of these like smaller shapes. So maybe we'll have like East Africa kind of curve in here. I'm mostly just like doodling here, but I feel like this is not the worst idea in the world. Okay, and that's of course only the major powers in Oto. There's plenty of others. We have a lot of Native American nations we need to get to. Probably a lot of other smaller non-legacy nations that have settled the Sea of Clouds together with Oto. So a lot more than just these countries will show up in the Sea of Clouds, but those will be the major ones. Okay, apart from that though, when I was looking at the map, I had one other kind of problem or question or something, and I really like the idea of having the United Kingdom, you know, in this section of the Orion Arm. I think that's pretty cool, and I really like the design of this, but it's so far away from the entrance to the Sea of Clouds. Like, I feel like it stretches belief somewhat that the United Kingdom would choose to, you know, take this really long route through the Sea of Clouds just so they could get this in one part. I don't know. And if the Sea of Clouds is supposed to be full of star systems, then why would they do that? So here's my solution. And I don't know. This might be divisive. I'm not even sure how I feel about this, but let's bring up our quick explanation for how strings work in this setting. So you might recall that starships can normally faster than light jump in basically any direction, anywhere they want, but it's incredibly slow. However, if you jump along a cosmic string, to be renamed sometime soon, the efficiency with which you can travel becomes way faster. Now, on our map, we have shown off strong cosmic strings, which are represented by these, like, you know, unbroken lines, and then weaker cosmic strings, which are represented by these dotted lines. And I think we're gonna add like a super string. I wish I had called it something less dumb sounding than that, but some sort of super string that acts. Thank you for the super chats there. Some sort of super string that like practically works similar to a wormhole, where it's such a powerful conduit that you can like jump a huge section of the Orion Arm in just a you know, almost instantaneously. Or maybe instantaneously, I don't know, maybe it is just like a direct route. And the idea is like there is an entrance to it right around here, and the exit is maybe this thing right there. So there's like this huge kind of express lane right across the Sea of Clouds. And the way I figure, I think that's why they settled here in the first place. I think when the Americans and everyone else on Earth was like sending out, I don't know, how do you look at the galaxy? Spectrometer, radiation, imaging, I don't know. But whatever they did to look at the strings in space, they found this like weird anomaly in the Sea of Clouds, and as they began charting these strings, they began heading towards it, and that's kind of what solidified the decision to settle the Sea of Clouds as opposed to any of the other places. So yeah, the Sea of Clouds has some sort of like express string, the channel, something like that. Okay. Apart from that, though, I think we're actually ready to get into this, but I guess I'll get to the super chats before we start putting down star systems. Okay, my apologies. All right, and again, I'm sorry I can't actually show these on the on the stream anymore, but I'll have to just read them out. So Absolute Unit says, how/why did the Pacific states split off from the USA? That's something we're still kind of working on, but I can tell you the original idea. So back in Dawn of Victory Classic, which was the original version of this setting, the reason was that the United States was split in two during the First Synfaxi War. In fact, let me see if I can find an image of that. First Synfaxi War map, America. Here we go. So yeah, this is from the old project. It's not canon in the new one, but here's how we're looking. So, in the First Synfaxi War, the Synfaxi don't necessarily conquer territory. They follow these weird kind of like strings. Not strings, we use that word too often. These lines across the states. And for 2 or 3 years during the First Synfaxi War, the Pacific states were completely cut off from the eastern states. And so this emergency government formed in the Pacific, headed up by our friend General MacArthur, who after the First Infaxia War refused to hand off power, was nearly shot by Admiral Ernest King. It was a whole thing. But basically the idea is America was split in half during the war, and these two governments evolved and they disagreed on reconstruction. So that's kind of what's going on. I think we're probably going to do something very similar this time around, but maybe different details. Hope that answers the basic question though. And Sika, thanks for the super chat, saying, not now because it's a lot, but at some point, jump drive questions. See Discord Q&A. Yes, I was sick for most of this year, but in the future, I'm looking to be more active on the Discord, answering questions and whatnot. But apologies, can't be everywhere at once. But yeah, figuring out jump drive might need to wait for our Way of World Building episode dedicated to faster than light travel techniques, just because it creates so many problems. I feel like I got to put a lot of research into it rather than just coming up with ideas off the cuff. All right. But Commando47, thanks for the super chat, saying, forgive me if this question has already been asked, but how common is civilian cultural exchange / immigration between nations? It would depend on the nation. Basically what we're trying to come up with here is there's like really 4 or 5 Orion arms, not just the one. There's like the Soviet kind of area, the German area, and the Japanese area, and those are like really locked off from the greater galactic Orion arm community. Just because of the nature of those governments and those systems. You know, the Soviet Union, not super friendly to emigration, same with Germany, etc., etc. And thanks for the super chats again. So it depends on where you're going. Like, moving across the Sea of Clouds, easy enough. Moving across the local cluster, easy enough, but it depends on the governments. Okay, and Ghastly Bespoke asking, will bigger US states have their own mini clusters? Also, how much money for you to add Ireland to the map right now? So, hate to break it to you, American states, at least the ones that exist on Earth, are extinct. I'm not looking to do like a Space Texas, Space California kind of thing, although we are kind of doing that down here. The point is, we'll be getting to it in a moment, but we have some new ways of organizing the United States that we'll be getting to. And Sika, again, thanks for the super chat, saying, so the USA is hemmed in by its allies, and France and the UK have no link to the Center Sol or each other. I mean, I wouldn't put too much stock into this really loose, plan I made. As we develop it, obviously we'll be making the connections a lot more detailed and conducive to fun exploration type stuff. And Dank user asking, how big are starships? What's the max size? I don't actually know. The biggest starship in the Orion arm is probably something boring, like a supertanker or like a cruise ship. Probably like a supertanker, like some sort of like giant mass conveyor starship that just like brings a bunch of, German cars into the local cluster, or American Coca-Cola. I'd say probably like 5 kilometers, maybe the limit. I don't know. That's a good question though. I like that. You got to kind of like figure out how it's going to fall into the standard sci-fi starships too, right? You don't want to make something like your battleship be really lame compared to a Star Destroyer or something, I think. Okay, and last one before we actually get into this. Chipmunk of Vengeance asking, does the US still use freedoms as a unit of measurement? Man, I think for the purposes of making things easier on everybody, they've finally transitioned to the metric system. Probably after Earth blew up, so there's that. All right, Jay Oxman, one last super chat. Thank you so much. And after this, we'll be getting to the next break we take. But saying, thank you, Stan, for the super chat, by the way. I'd love to see a planet with a weak or distant star, something that forces its inhabitants to engage in gene modification to make themselves and their terraformed ecosystem viable. Huh. I'm really, like, hesitant to adding gene modifications and stuff, because I feel like that opens, like, a whole can of worms. But I do like the idea of, I don't know, like, just small gene modifications to make you more healthier. So I don't know. I feel like increased sight at night. What do you call that? Night vision, natural night vision, as like some sort of genetic modification might be a thing worth exploring. So apologies for that rambling answer. I never know where these questions are coming from. Okay, but after this, we'll be getting to the rest of the super chats next break. Let's actually start putting down some star systems. So the idea is that the Americans went through the Sigma Draconis subcluster, down through Tau Eridanus, this subcluster, the Hydrus Expanse, and then they found their big gateway. Still need a name for this part of the galaxy. Not exactly sure what we're going to do there yet, but have some ideas. And from there, they find the instant route to the London area. So I feel like the first American cluster is probably going to be right around the edge of Shai Hulud here, right around Independence. And we actually have some names all ready to go here, so I'll let you know kind of the themes. So, the general idea is that American star systems, and again, I apologize for the blinding white screen here. American star systems are named after big ideas, concepts, things associated with the American experiment, you might say. So, our first 13 colonies, and that's important, are going to be Liberty, Independence, Perseverance, Progress, Valiance, Opportunity, Constitution, Discovery, Endeavor, Prosperity, Integrity, Justice, and Sentiment. I feel like these things are, I don't know, I think they're American, not uniquely American, or American solely, but they're associated with America. So, I don't know, makes sense to me. And then we also have a bunch of other ideas for star system names. After these, because we're going to have a lot more star systems than however many are on this list, other ideas included things like American poetry. I think national parks might have been mentioned by somebody, but all those are on our Google Doc here if you want to contribute to them. I think our map master, Alexandrian Codex, has been keeping it updated. So that's the plan. Let's start putting down star systems. So Independence is here. That's the American capital. And where's my legend? Right here. Okay. American. I swear I'm never going to figure out Adobe Illustrator. It is constantly frustrating me. Now, one concept that I kind of want to have here is that the Americans first settled 13 colonies. This is a bit of a nod to the original 13 in 2176. So there's like this big American effort to, the new 13 colonies in space. So they start off with 13. So we got 1, 2. Come on, give me a break here, Adobe Illustrator. Am I seriously unable to select things? Like, what am I doing here? Oh, Illustrator, I'm gonna figure you out one day, but I swear to God, it is not today. You, group. Why is it doing that? What is this? Seriously, is this gonna be what breaks the whole project? Is that I can't get Illustrator to just select the right thing? All right, let's give this another shot. Okay, there we go. Holy God. If you ever want to freak out, try using a program you have no experience with on a live stream. There we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we can start getting rid of some of these names. Now we're at 5. Right? Yeah, I can count. As for where they're going to look coolest, I know Tim would say to not put them on the edges of the nebula, but I kind of like this whole area here. And Independence, for anyone wondering, is the American capital. Because what's more American than independence, I ask you? Like so, maybe? 3, 6, 7, okay. 8. I'm already screwing myself here. There we go. So 4 more to go. 2. I'm so bad at keeping track. That's 13, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nope, off by 2. 12, 13. All right, so this is what we're dealing with. Now to make it look nice. I really like this this area here. I feel like this is like the main American kind of area. And thank you for the super chat, still coming in. I will get to them as soon as I've stopped freaking out about this. Maybe there's an outlier. Maybe there's one in the middle just to break up the, because I'm doing that thing Tim hates again, where I'm putting all the star systems directly on the edges of the, except for that one. Something like this. But let's just get a independent system in there to give us kind of an entryway. So how does this actually work? Like, which is the main American system that they kind of all developed from? Probably the capital, being Independence. So should Independence be there or somewhere else? Okay, let's move this around. Now we're gonna have 2 independences. Okay, I feel like I gotta redo all my work here, but something like this. And thanks again for the super chats. We'll be getting to them next break I take here. Right now, though, really gotta focus on where star systems are going. Okay, I like this area right here. I feel like this is cool looking. So let's make it official. All right, good enough for now. Independence. Come on, there we go. Now, the question is, like, are they going directly into Shai Hulud from there? Maybe like this or like that? Kind of like that. In fact, like, maybe there's multiple ways from here, like something like this, maybe? No, maybe like one of them's over here, and this is like the second cluster. Yeah. Although now I feel like I'm covering up too much of Tim's cool artwork here, so. Let's try to vary this up a bit. Something like this. I say this every stream, but just getting like some shapes that look nice is one of the major challenges for this whole thing. But independence definitely needs to be in the heart of things here. It's getting there, getting there. I don't know, what do we got? Something like... Is anyone else hearing Count Dooku or Palpatine or somebody talking? Oh, Admiral Rampart. This sounds like something from the Clone Wars. This playlist is called something like, you know, no DMCA, free to use on YouTube, and I get tagged for it every single time. What am I missing here? That's what I'm missing. Okay, let's keep getting these strings going. I kind of hate the look of this. It always takes me a really long time to get something that feels right. But I do know that independence is pretty important. So we'll just keep adding strings to them. To it. Something like this. You know what? I feel like I kind of want to replicate the look of the 13 colonies on the actual eastern seaboard a bit more by having these all kind of... You know, kind of like that nice line they got going down the coast. And I feel like this is breaking it at the moment. Something like this, perhaps. Okay, let's all study this and see if there's a way to make this look better. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna start naming these suckers. So we got independence already. Let's add liberty, perseverance, progress, valiance, opportunity, Constitution, endeavor, prosperity, integrity, justice, and sentiment. It'd be interesting to try to have these line up in a way that I don't know, that these feelings or concepts kind of align with one another, like valiance and, I don't know, endeavor might be kind of linked. But that feels like overthinking it for now. Let's just concentrate on getting these star systems in place in a way that looks cool. Something like this. But I feel like this is coming together pretty okay. Another concept we've been talking about is that Liberty is the capital of the Orion Treaty Organization as a whole, and might have actually been given over to them completely. So this might be an Oto system rather than an American system. But that's something we'll need to figure out. For now, though, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I don't feel like this is completely terrible, though I do want to change like some stuff later down the road. For now, though, I feel like this is pretty good. Although, like, I don't want the Americans to dominate the entrance to the Sea of Clouds. I feel like there needs to be more ways in. In fact, I think I got it here. What if we did this? I think we were talking earlier about having like an outlier. I think Liberty is the outlier. Yeah. Yeah. And apologies if I'm not interacting with chat so much here, but I really want to get this kind of general shape down, you know? Damn you, Illustrator. Yeah, that's looking pretty good to me, though. Ooh. I think we got a winner. And you'll notice that strings in the Sea of Clouds may be a bit more connected than places elsewhere in the Orion arm. This really is like the primo real estate of anywhere else. But yeah, that's oops, what am I breaking now? And thank you again for all the super chats coming in. Really do appreciate them. I'm just trying not to let them distract me too much here. But I really like this like really heavily connected segment. I feel like Americans and Oto are probably the best at mapping cosmic strings, at least in the early days of colonization, so a lot more resources to put into mapping out even cosmic strings that aren't entirely necessary, just convenient. Like so. And this is our first 13, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There it is. Perfect. The first 13 colonies. In fact, is that the name of them? All right, folks, you're gonna have to tell me if this is too cheesy. But like, would calling these the 13 colonies be super lame or super cool? And hopefully I spelled that right. Huh. Oh, was chat telling me that I spelled something wrong? Independence, is that spelled correctly? Yeah, I think it is. Wait, there's 2 independences. Okay, I caught up on it. Yeah, there we go. Wait, what am I missing then? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I gotta go through all my names again. What are we missing? We got sentiment. Yes. Justice. Yes. Endeavor. Yes. Discovery. Am I missing discovery? Yes, we're missing discovery. What else am I missing? Have I broken anything else, or have I had 2 discoveries? Whatever, I'll double check this afterwards. Man, okay, there we go, though. Okay, but that's the first 13. And now we got like a whole shitload of other colonies we got to put on. Might not be getting to naming all of these today, but I wouldn't mind locking down some of the other like naming schemes. So let me open up that document I've been listing in or putting in chat here. If you can forgive me for looking off screen for a second. Okay, so in terms of American names, we got a metric shitload, starting with, yeah, these big concepts. We got governance and ideals, exploration and discovery, ambition and achievement, values and virtues, opportunity and aspiration. And then we get into the other ones that don't fit that kind of big concept idea. So the general idea is that maybe 50%, 60% of American settlements will be named after these kind of terms. And the rest will be in small clusters that fit a certain theme. So we might have like, I don't know, a historical cluster named for historical things from America, or a science cluster named after discoveries. Not that lame, of course, with better names, but you get the idea, right? We're talking themes. So let's start putting down a shitload of American colonies, and we'll see what happens. And that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna call this like Gateway until we get a better name, because that's boring as hell. Yeah, all right. So after the initial 13, actually, you know what I kind of want to do? Here, I'm gonna plan out some crazy stuff here. In terms of like where the major strings are through the cloud, I feel like probably here, here, down to New California, probably to France, and then the big one goes to the center. Something like that. Okay. In that case, I am going to mess around with that and actually mark it on the map here so I don't forget about what my plan is. And I don't know, this thing here has like a thing coming out of it. Could that be representative of some sort of big string going on? Possibly. But until then, let's just come up with something new on the spot. And I have no idea what to call this thing. The chunnel. Rename May. Okay, cool. That is good enough for now. And then I'll put the exit point. Probably like just on the edge of that star. I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. My word, we've discovered some sort of superstring. Now, as for how we show that they're connected, I probably shouldn't try to figure that out on stream right away, but let's get something temporary just in case people bug me about it. 5, 5, 5, 5. Maybe that'll look good. No, that looks completely normal. What if 10? Yeah, okay, there we go. I mean, it doesn't exactly fit the theme, right? Because we say that solid strings are faster and broken strings are slower. So, like, aesthetically, this doesn't work very well. But for now, as a temporary thing, I think it's good enough. Although it is going to bug me for the rest of the stream, but what can you do? Okay. And oh, it should be connected to Discovery. That's kind of appropriate. Something like this. And then ideally, like, kind of what I want to do though is do we have any, like, I guess I got some down there. I'll add these. I wouldn't mind, like, adding some, like, independent systems. Like, we assume that, like, no single nation in Oto has control over these, and they're just, like, kind of neutral areas full of, like, no settled plants or anything, just kind of like mining stations. So that way you're able to get into this area without going through America. Like, I feel like I don't want to lock that off. There needs to be another way in. But I don't want to worry about that too much at the moment. But I do want to put these there just to remind myself that that's the plan. Ideally, there should be a mix of independent systems and these annexed systems. But so far, this is working for me. Is it working for me, though? Okay, I got a question for chat here. What if we did something really dramatic? What's the best way to do this? Like, what if the channel was closer to there? Would that be crazy? It's an idea. We'll come back to it at some point. And no reason at all why this all has to be set in stone. Except I just broke something, didn't I? There we go. But let's start adding some more American systems here. Maybe there's like kind of a string of them down here. Let's do like a tight cluster right here. I like those groups of threes. They always look pretty good. Come on, give me a break. And I guess I'm not sure if we've gone over some of the changes to the actual names since last time, but we've added some... I mean, we've named all these systems that were previously just independent, and this place right here is meant to be like a interstellar, well, I mean, we say it's a test and training range for the U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, and I guess the rest of Oto to practice interstellar warfare, which I think is pretty cool. Kind of similar to, what's that place in the Indian Ocean called? Diego Garcia, but on a much bigger scale? I don't know. Area 51, but in space, that kind of thing. Something like this, perhaps. The more I think about where the channel is, the more it doesn't make sense to me. It needs to be like at a place way more available to the rest of Oto. So I'm gonna have to mess with that at some point. Where is the channel? Or I guess like I could add independent systems throughout here, but then America's kind of split, and I don't like that at all. Doesn't really fit the way we've been doing things. It's a bit of a puzzle, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. In the meantime, let's just put down more systems. That's what I do when I'm out of ideas. Yeah, this is actually looking really good though. I'm liking the shape, and that's always the hardest thing to nail down. Something like this. Although now America has kind of like blocked off the only access to the entire Sea of Clouds, so I gotta like rework the whole gateway idea. So it's gonna be a lot of me moving systems around if if you folks don't mind. Of course, like, maybe the channel is, like, right in the center of this thing. Like, it feels like maybe it should be linked to Shai Hulud somehow. But then seeing the line go through other star systems makes it look kind of messy to me. I don't like that a lot. All right, I'll continue thinking about it. In the meantime, let's get some more systems on this map. Although we are at the halfway mark, so let's get back to the super chats that I missed there earlier. So, 1 second here. Okay. Yeah, here we go. I am Nero. Thank you for the super chat saying, how would each UK system have a governor general, or no, sorry, would each UK system have a governor general, like how former UK colonies have governor generals to represent the UK monarchy? Yeah, the UK in Dawn of Victory needs to be a bit more federalized than modern UK in that, you know, they're going to have all these different star systems, not necessarily as centralized as it is in Great Britain. So maybe there's actual states, provinces, something else in the UK as opposed to just, you know, Wales, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, that kind of thing. As for governor generals, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And XOX Films saying, would it make sense to name some American planets after small towns that might work as planet names? Tellerud, Ticonderoga, Sundance Meridian. Yeah, for planet names, we're going to need a whole new set of names. So I have no idea what that's going to be yet, but I definitely like the idea of using... I mean, you got to be careful with city names, right? Because you don't want, like, every planet, city, whatever, to be New Chicago or New Texas or whatever. So in general, I want to try to get new names, but have some older names in there every now and then. One thing we were looking at actually was, in addition to our, you know, big concepts and ships of exploration and all that stuff, would be, shit, I just forgot what it was going to be. Oh yeah, geographic regions that aren't states. So Appalachia, I'm sure there's others across America. So geographic regions rather than political regions, I think might be a way to get around that. And MF Colston saying, did the US bring Jim Crow to the stars? God, no. I think most of that got solved before people got off Earth. I don't want to pretend that like racism just like evaporates as soon as you get into the future, because that doesn't seem realistic. But at the same time, I'm an optimist. I think the arm of history swings towards what's that phrase? The reach of history is long, but goes towards social justice. Man, I've butchered that quote. My point is that like things have gotten better in the future. Racism isn't as much of a thing as it is in our world. It's not gone, and it's been mostly replaced by ideological divides rather than racial divides. So that's the idea. I mean, we are like what, 160 years in the future or something, so it feels pretty reasonable to me. And Commando47, thanks for the super chat, saying, thinking of the super strings, might it be a good idea to think of them like the jet streams on Earth with one great string along the entire arm, allowing for easier okay, I see what you mean, allowing for easier direct great power interactions. So you're kind of thinking like there would be one stream like kind of like that like kind of I mean, we do already kind of have that with these super lanes that I kind of want to mark in a different way. Like we might make these thicker at some point to designate they're stronger than other strings. It's a little hard, you know, you don't want to overcrowd the map with too many different types of lines, but in terms of how to think of super strings, yeah, I don't know. I guess you could think of them like the jet stream, and that is just like a hyper efficient route that's going to save you a lot of time. But I don't know, I hope that rambling answer at least gives you something to chew on. And Smartman asking, wait, where do we go? Don't you think that Independence being so close to the entrance of the Sea of Clouds is a security risk? Wouldn't it be better to put it further away? Well, I guess I'd say that, like, you know, beggars can't be choosers, and you know, having Washington, D.C. on the Atlantic coast, I mean, that's a security risk, right? Like, it's right next to the ocean. It would be safer to make Denver the capital or something, but I don't know. I would say that, like, if the Americans have gotten to the point where independence is being directly threatened because the Soviets or whoever else have taken Gateway, then, like, so much has gone wrong, right? Because the Americans, like, their reach does not stop at Gateway. Like, the Americans have a presence in Highgate. They have a presence in Alpha Hydrus. They have a presence in the Incruza Hilda subcluster. They control a lot of the like, so the Americans and the OTO in general are everywhere. So for them, for Gateway to be threatened, like, shit would have had to have gone incredibly poorly. But that's my thinking anyways. No Stripe 361, thanks for the super chat, saying, would system at the entrance be a Caribbean state? Probably not. I don't know what we're gonna do with the Caribbean. I am not entirely sure if they're gonna be an OTO, but maybe they will. I'll put a pin in that and get thinking about it. And Jovial Monster saying, the channel entrance should be on the other side of the US so they don't control the only major entrance. Yes, I agree with you. I'm just not sure what the right solution is gonna be. Because, like, all right, let's just kind of mess around with this real quick while we're experimenting here. I swear, I'm never gonna understand how Illustrator, like, does stuff. Like, why is it selecting so much all at once? That makes no sense to me. God damn you, Illustrator, I hate you so much. Like, what else am I moving? Why is this box so big? All right, but enough complaining. What if there was, like, an independent system here? Like some sort of corridor kind of thing? Oops. Like, kind of like a string of independence. Like, you get the idea, right? Like, just... That feels too forced to me, though. It feels too fake. I feel like the channel entrance just needs to be, like, naturally somewhere else for this to work. But I will worry about that later. But then I also feel like the channel should be, like, near something distinct. So maybe we need to get our man Tim to, like, draw something new rather than trying to incorporate this into what's already there. Like, what if the tunnel entrance was there? Or like there, maybe? Like, I recognize there's nothing really there right now to signify it. Or could it be around this thing? I don't hate that, but now the tunnel entrance feels a bit... Why am I like... Man, one of these days I gotta figure out Illustrator, because like none of this makes sense to me. Like, why when I zoom in and out is it deciding it needs to put me here? Like, what is it about this area? Like, I got nothing selected here, and now that I select that, it takes me there. So I don't get Illustrator, man. Okay, but if the tunnel is there, then how is this gonna work? Okay, I think I got it. What if we did this? So if Liberty is like the Orion Treaty Organization capital, you know, maybe it's not American. Put that there as a temporary thing. So then... something like this. Yeah, I kind of like this. So the main Oto way, like the neutral area, is kind of like through here. And then the Americans are going to be like through here and through here. And then maybe even like through here. Yep, all right. That works for me. But as for where these two systems go, I am not sure. In fact, maybe we just move them somewhere completely different. Yeah, let's do that. As for sentiment, we can't lose our sentimentality. I'd hate to do that. You know, these star system names are gonna really work great with a lot of puns that we got coming up. Like so. Okay, it's coming together. It's coming. As for how does gateway get to the tunnel? That is, or how does gateway number 2 get to the tunnel? That's a bit too direct, but the thought is there. Or maybe the tunnel's on the other side. How about... I do want to have it closer to that weird exploding star thing, though, just because it looks so cool. So I feel like something like this. I never know what I'm doing with this, but it's always just a matter of like finding what looks kind of right and then moving from there. Like so. Just gotta make it look a little less direct. I don't know, is this something? I mean, that's too crazy, right? Like, that's too on the nose. But I definitely think it should be close. You're right there. Something like that. I mean, like, this is all temporary as hell, but I feel like, and just trying to get like a vague idea of where things are, this isn't the worst thing. Okay, but there's kind of the Liberty thing, and I guess America is technically cut in half, but that's what you get for giving up one of your planets to Oto. And of course, it is possible that Liberty still is part of America, and it just jointly administers it with the rest of the Orion arm here. So maybe it's like one of these. So why is the song telling me that I've reached my destination? Who's putting that into music? I don't know, something like that maybe. Things to think about. I take it back. I think I hate having sentiment on this thing. I assure you I haven't. Yeah, good enough for now. Okay. I don't hate any of this, except now I'm doing that thing where I'm slow. There we go, fix that. I really hate the look of this. I can't stand it. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But in terms of just planning out the general run, I think that's... I hope that's good enough for now. Let's add more systems. I need them. I need them bad, baby. I want a big America. And if that's wrong, then I don't need to be right. Okay, so it probably, you know, these systems here, they're all going to be given those kind of big concept names. But I think it might be fun to break things up a bit and try to create a new American cluster somewhere in the ARM with a distinct theme that's not those, that we can name after something a bit different. So, I don't know what that's going to be yet. Maybe let's do geographic regions, I think. Things like Appalachia. I'm sure there's others. But where would it be? Where would like a cool American cluster be? Right there. And our map master in chat is saying that the geographic region names are currently the weakest suggestions we have at the moment, so I guess we won't do those. Instead, what else do we got? Let's do, ooh, what else is on the list here? People and political figures. Don't know about that. I hate naming systems after people. Animals. Oh, I like that. Animals might be good. Animals, plants, rivers, bodies of water. Oh, rivers and bodies of water. We do that for a lot of systems, but it would work especially well here. Huh. What else do we got? A lot of these poetry ones are really cool. Miles to Go, Midnight Ride, Helm of Fate. Jesus, that's rad. Helm of Fate. Isn't that what Dr. Fate wears in DC? Am I wrong about that? Well, until we figure out what the theme is, I'm gonna just keep putting down star systems rather than look at this thing off stream, because that's not helping anybody. But I really like the idea of just these American systems kind of following along this kind of general area. Like so, perhaps? Okay. And of course, the trick will be like figuring out how this connects to the remainder of the American systems, but I kind of want to experiment with like how we build these clusters, like whether we gotta, you know, follow the straight path or if we can have more fun with it. Like so. Man, this playlist, I don't know what's going on with it, but I think I like it. But as in terms of like how American clusters look, I'm really liking the general design of this. I think that's pretty slick. And I think these are all going to be temporary because I need to put more thought into how we actually do this. But just so I'm not loading up this map with a bunch of temporary names, let's start putting some stuff in here. Let's do Cardinal. Mustang, that's American as all hell. Mockingbird. Razorback. I don't know, Longhorn. And Copperhead? Sure, I don't know. And Blue Hen. I like that, actually. Blue Hen. Now, these are all going to be temporary, just because I want to make sure that, like, none of these happen to be, you know, state animals or aligned too closely with one region of America over another, or at least to make sure that, you know, I assume Longhorn, that's like a Texas thing probably, right? Mustang feels like the Midwest. I don't know. The point is I want to make sure that, like, all of America is represented in these animals, and I'm not sure if this current configuration does that, so we'll come back to this in a bit, but it's better than having a lot of Americas, like we do over here. Now, how do we connect... Oh, actually, what if we did it, like, different from how we usually do it? What if there is a bunch of connections? Yeah, I think this isn't too terrible. Yeah, all right. I think this is working for me. Just out of curiosity, though, is music playing currently on the stream? Everything broke when we switched over from the old system, so I can't tell if all these references to the songs I'm hearing are actually coming through on the stream or not. Oh, Sloshed Rat just suggested Whippoorwill. Whippoorwill, I like that a lot. I gotta add Whippoorwill. 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 All right, I have increased the volume on the music. Hopefully that helps things. Anyways, what was I doing, Whippoorwill? I saw some people suggest Buffalo, both on the document and in chat here. The reason I'm not doing Buffalo is because I think it's... I mean, that's a state capital, isn't it? Buffalo... New York? No. Where the fuck is Buffalo? Buffalo's not in New York State. Buffalo... It is in New York State. God damn, I know my American geography better than my own country. Speaking of whippoorwills, they're showing up in the music now. I assume. I don't actually know what they sound like. Alright, now I gotta go way outside the comfort zone. Add some star systems not aligned to any prominent nebula. Just to get Tim off my back. Although Buffalo wouldn't be the capital of New York State, right? I mean, what is the capital of... Is New York the capital of New York? New York City? Or is it like Albany or something? One of those weird cities that no one thinks about. These are the questions. New York State capital is Albany. I knew it. Haha. Something like so. Yeah, we'll keep it there. That looks good enough. But I do want to bring them slightly closer together. Yeah, there we go. That's looking good. But as for what we do up here, hard to know, hard to know. I'm just gonna keep putting down strings, how about that? Okay, but now Liberty is kind of... how do I do this? Perhaps like this, maybe? Yeah, I think this is actually pretty close to how I'd like it. Okay. All right, feedback time. What is the general consensus on how this is kind of working? Because I feel like this is very different from how we normally do things, where each state has their, perfectly connected territories. Whereas in the Sea of Clouds, we've got like clusters separated by independent systems. But I really like the look of this. I think this is like actually kind of great. So I feel like this is actually a pretty good solution for how we make things feel American, while also giving the rest of Oto, freedom to navigate. Not that, the Americans would close off all their star systems, but just for the way the map looks, I think this is kind of neat. Looks like chat is mostly on board. That's good. Jesus. The B1 battle droid, man. I maintain those things were never as cool as they were in Phantom Menace, and as soon as they came into Clone Wars, I can't watch that show because of those goddamn droids. People keep telling me how great it is, and then I get like 10 seconds in, and one of those things is like, uh-oh, did I just spill oil all over the floor? And it's just like this weird, awful, ugh, hate it. I liked it when they sounded like cool combat robots instead of like slapstick comedy. But what do I know about Star Wars? Nothing. And I think what's good about this system is we're gonna have a mix of like American names that follow those really distinct themes, and then we can have some more like random names separating them to keep it from being too boring or like too planned looking. But I'm really liking how this area is coming together here. Like the entrance to the tunnel, I feel like this is a good, natural kind of looking progression. One of the things I'm gonna have to do before, like, at the end of this project is take all these lines and just connect them all together. Because right now we have, let's see, approximately 13,000 lines, when we probably could get that down to like just a few dozen the way they're all connected, you know? Definitely want the Sea of Clouds to come off as more of like a magical kind of place, though. I think in the original brief I sent to Tim, I described the Sea of Clouds as like a fairy tale forest, which ended up being like way off from what I actually meant. But like it has sort of like a, I don't know, like a serenity to it. The Sea of Clouds, like it's just a really peaceful kind of place. And I feel like this is so close to what I was imagining. It's pretty good. Oh, okay, yep. Tim sent a new map. Got it. I will attempt to show it off before the end of the stream. I have seen it. Thank you. Although I want it on the record, I would have checked Discord even if he hadn't said anything, because Tim and I have talked about this before. So. Channel. What am I doing? I need another thing on this path. There we go. Nope, it didn't work. Why isn't that working? God damn you, Illustrator. You make me look like a fool every day. Aha! I've beaten you. Nah, I don't like that. That feels too connected all of a sudden. Okay, there we go. It's kind of doing something. But yeah, I'm really liking the look of this. This is pretty goddamn slick. And you know what? Let's start filling out some of these other names just while I'm thinking of new ideas here. I'll have to mark off the ones I've already done because I'm going to forget immediately. I didn't know that about myself. Alright, Constitution. We got that. Check. Independence. Yep, that's the capital. Justice, liberty. Yep, got those. Next up, we got integrity. Yep, that's also on there. Proclamation. Yeah, alright. Proclamation. I'm tempted to add solidarity, but I think the Americans would consider solidarity to be too communist. So let's instead have proclamation connect to, I don't know, opportunity. We'll make these make more sense later on. It would be nice if sentiment led to proclamation, or like we made it like these kind of worked somehow. You know what I mean? Like discovery leads to curiosity, something like that. Hopefully you kind of get what I'm putting down here, but we'll come back to this later. So instead of solidarity, we'll say it's, or instead of solidarity, it's now serendipity. More pleasing to the American, whatever. Progress. Just marking off these names here. Okay, did I put down Endeavor? Do we have Endeavor? Yes, we have Endeavor. Along with Discovery and Curiosity. Insight. Again, would make sense to put it next to Discovery and Curiosity, but instead, let's put it somewhere else for now. And I'll figure out how to make this look better later. Along with Ambition. Okay, we already got a Progress. Fortitude. And Determination. Do we have Determination yet? I don't think so. I guess my question so far is, like, does any of this look too cheesy? I don't know. I think they're working out. I don't think any of these names are that bad. Serendipity, I don't know about that one, but we'll come back to it. Hey, and thanks for the super chat. I will be getting to that next break we take, which won't be too long. I guess we're getting nearing the end of the stream here, but let me try to get as much work done as I can while we're all here. Yeah, liking that. All right, what's chat saying? Determination is cheesy. Everything is cheesy as it should be, and bacony. All right, well, I guess that technically counts as feedback. I'm not entirely sure what to do with it, but appreciate it. I think the animal ones are pretty cheesy at the moment. I think we got to go back to that, but for now, I think this is all coming together super, super well. And I'm also really liking the channel idea. I feel like that's helping my brain with how we explain some of this stuff. Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense that, like, the string leading in to the channel should be, like, a really powerful string. So it's a long sucker. Takes you there. And then, maybe it doesn't Yeah, maybe it goes there. I don't think you want to get too close to the sucker, because presumably what's causing this superstring is the relationship between this thing and like this thing. And there's like a giant ass cosmic string that's been like formed like right here. But you can't get too close. Luckily you don't need to be. You can instead just go like that. Yeah, I like that. Although does that mean there's like another one of these? Like, you should be able to like go like that? Nope, I hate that. There's only gonna be one. Yeah, okay, that's feeling better. But this is all looking pretty good. All right, as for this cluster here, let's get some opportunity and aspiration in there. Agreement. Opportunity. Patience. Ingenuity. Defiance. And prosperity. Although defiance... I don't know about defiance. That feels too aggressive to me. Like, it's, defiance isn't always a good thing. Like, we have valiance, I think is the better term there. Let's put in accord. There we are. Just gonna save this real quick. There we go. Chat saying I already have prosperity. Do I have prosperity already? Where did I put prosperity? Prosperity and... I mean, I'll be going through all of this off stream, but if there is another prosperity, I don't see it. Unless it's in this cluster. No. There it is. All right. How about ingenuity? We got that. Destiny. Have we done destiny yet? No, I don't think we have. Great. Yeah, that's looking pretty damn good. I want some like more American systems kind of around here, like following along the nuclear path, leading into the PSA, leading into Australasia, but this whole kind of American cluster over here is looking pretty damn good. All right, 15 minutes left, so let's save this and I'll try to answer any questions I missed here. Okay. Burke Barnett, thank you for the super chat, saying, I can see US giving up liberty on an official basis. Most population is probably US anyways, no real loss. Yeah, so the idea here, I mean, I don't exactly know how this is gonna work. But the original plan was, yeah, America settles 13 colonies in their first wave of settlement, which is these ones. Liberty is one of them, which it later either hosts the Oto capital while still being American, or it's like a system governed directly by Oto. Either way, though, I feel like that decision was made pretty early on in the process, so it's not like there was a bunch of American citizens left stranded here. It was probably like, you know, a few thousand of the early recon team and the surveyors and whatnot by the time that decision was made. So that's the thinking there. Although maybe it is still American. I'm not opposed to that. But in the original version of Dawn of Victory, we called it the Democratic Federation back then instead of Oto, but its capital was called Liberty, and I feel like it fits so well into this American theme that, I don't know, it works for me. And of course, like, what Oto nation doesn't value liberty above all, so. Liberté. Okay, and Ghastly Bespoke, thanks for the super chat, saying proclamation should be an Irish system, since the Irish version of the Declaration of Independence was called a proclamation. Okay, I don't hate that, but I feel like there's probably some other names associated with Ireland other than proclamation, right? Like maybe it's just called Ireland, or the Roman name for Ireland, or something like that. But I won't knock it completely. That's on the list. And Austin says, and either way, thanks for the super chat. Sorry about butchering all these names. Just so you know, there was a town in CT named New London. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of New Londons. The one I was thinking of was the New London in Freelancer, that game from '99, I think, by Chris Roberts. So New London and New California, Isle de France, these are all temporary names right now. New London is definitely going to get renamed, because that's more of a city or planet name, not a star system. Okay, any non-super chats that desperately need answering? I am monitoring chat as best I can, so hit me up with your questions while I fiddle around with the map some more. Yeah, that's kind of... Okay, what do we got? I am Nero saying one of the American cluster should be agricultural themed to have like an American breadbasket. Possibly on a planet. I don't know if on a cluster scale. I don't think you would need like a giant farming area. In fact, the way that agriculture kind of works in Dawn of Victory, just like one of these planets could probably supply the entire United States if they devoted it entirely to farming. Absolute Unit asking, do milkshakes exist in DOV? No, they do not. Went extinct, unfortunately. Real mess. Tim Barton saying, mind if I take a look in your hull? Didn't think so. God, I missed that game. Do you take my kombucha tea? Saying, how well understood are the cosmic strings? In universe, pretty well, I would say. I don't think that, governments would trust the entire stability of their civilization on like cosmic strings that behaved unpredictably. So I think the mechanics of cosmic strings are not fully understood, but understood well enough to the point where it's safe and not like this weird mystery that's keeping society together. That's kind of my thinking. Brucilli asking, I think that's how you pronounce that. Is Oto more intertwined than the in real life NATO, considering the USA is willing to let Oto run? Yes. So Oto is like an evolution of NATO, not a direct one-to-one. I see Oto as like a halfway between the European Union and NATO. Like if we imagine that NATO had like a big political component or an economic component, or the European Union having a big military component. So it's the idea of what NATO and or European Union might evolve into in 100 years. Ardal07 saying, could we name future American systems after revolutionary battles, i.e. Saratoga, Bunker Hill? I don't know about star systems, but ships, absolutely. I'm not sure if naming an entire star system after a battle, especially a battle against the British, sends the right message to our friends across the Sea of Clouds. So that's some thinking there. But ships, absolutely. Exo asking, do you have some information about the Union of South American States? We've only heard the name as of now, and I'm very excited for it. Not really. So ideally what we're going to do is I feel like my job as someone who has like a base knowledge of a lot of stuff, but isn't an expert on anything in particular, is we're going to be we're going to be trying to bring on, expand the team, bring on some new writers. The way that Kaiser Reich does it is the main inspiration. So ideally, we'll bring in some people who know a lot more about Brazil and Argentina and South America than me, and we'll have them kind of like suggest concepts from history or just ideas or interesting facts that might be a good kind of basis for how to expand this into something more substantial. So right now, I'm just trying to get the setting to like a base level where everything has a little something, and then eventually we'll be putting in more and more detail. So I guess the short answer is I have no idea, but we'll get smarter people than me to work on it later down the road. How big is this universe? Good question, Ghost Star Wars 19. Oh, we actually just put out a video on our main channel going over a lot of the kind of like base elements of the setting, like when does it take place? How big is the galaxy? What's technology like? Are there aliens? That kind of stuff. So there is a video called, I think, Making the Dawn of Victory setting, something like that. That'll answer all those questions. But a few thousand light years is the short answer to your question. I mean, I'm not going to measure it. I don't know exactly, but that's the general rough idea, and we'll, you know, get something closer down the line. Okay, so I'm gonna end things here. Before I do, though, two things. First, I'm gonna try to bring in Tim's update. I don't know how to do this. Oh, okay, I think we can make this happen. All right, so Tim's update. How do I align this? Oh yeah, we can figure this out. Okay, let's go. Nope, I've already lost it. Okay, there we go. Is that pretty good? I think I nailed it. All right, so what do we got going on here? Nope, I completely screwed it up. Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Okay. So is that maybe the entrance? Interesting. Oh my god, the star moved. I see it. Oh my god. Huh. There's options here. Tim, I hate to say it, I think I've convinced myself it was actually better where it was originally. But I do like that we have this option. Let's talk sometime in the next week or so. Well, let's figure this out, because this is a really interesting idea. Okay, but that is going to end it for this world building stream. Let's get back to the main HUD here. Alrighty, thank you all so much for everyone who joined on this latest world building stream. If you want to check out the map as it exists right now, you can find it at map.champlaingroup.com. If you want to see the wiki, which has a bunch more information about the setting, you can go to wiki.champlaingroup.com or .champlain.group, whatever it is. There's also a bunch of social media we got rolling that's putting out updates every week, basically, if you want to know more about the universe. So, you know, check out that stuff. As for where we go from here, so next update on the map, hopefully going out this weekend. You'll be able to see all the changes we made on this stream. 1 week today, we'll be back to work on it. And apart from that, my health is getting to the point where I'm feeling better and better about getting back to like full-time streaming. Although it seems like every time I start, something goes wrong. So I'm gonna kind of relax this week after our big getting all the editing done. And hopefully next week we'll be back to the full schedule, playing some New Vegas, some Warno, games of that nature. So also organizing some community games if you're a Warno fan. I want to kick the shit out of my Soviet tanks. But thanks to everyone who's being here, and we'll catch you next week.